Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. Today is April 1st, it's a Wednesday. We had ethanol production out here today. But before we get into that, let's turn over to the grain hedge trading platform and see where we closed off the day. Corn trading up 5.5 cents, soybeans up 15 3/4 cents, and Chicago wheat trading up 14 3/4 cents on the day. It seems as though we had a little bit of a rebound after that hard amount of selling that we saw yesterday in corn and in wheat. Now the rebound was not as much as the selling pressure we saw yesterday, but this was of course positive. It really seems when you look at the charts here, soybeans was able to come back, and one of the things that I thought, and I thought this yesterday, one, the report was relatively bullish. We didn't have a very positive day when you look at the overall change in price from the open until the close yesterday. But when you look at the price action, it really seemed to have that feeling that we might be moving higher here. And one of the reasons that I mentioned is that we fell below that previous March 15th, March 18th lows. We dipped below that. I wouldn't be surprised if one, we got a bunch of stops triggered. I wouldn't be surprised if people actually entered shorts at that position. And then of course we crossed back over that line and closed on the higher side of the day. You know, what that does is it really takes people that are in these short positions that may have gotten short as a result of going through those lows, and it turns them into people that are already in losing positions. And that just adds buying pressure to the overall movement higher here. And so one of the things I thought yesterday is that we were kind of set up to possibly see some continuation to the upside, and it seems as though we did. We kind of got up right around that 980 89 level. You can see that was a previous high here. That's a time period and a price level that we're going to have to work through, but we closed right next to it. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of punch right through that resistance level. And we talked about this back when we weren't able to, back in the later part of March, when we weren't able to get up above that 20-day and that 50-day moving average. Well, those two moving averages were very close and increasing the potency of that resistance level. Well, now you can see that 20-day and the 50-day moving average really widened out. We've been able to move through those levels. And so from my perspective here, considering the positive prospective plantings report here for the price action in soybeans, and also considering the technical environment here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see May corn here make a run to $10, and at that point probably have to work through the $10 level for at least a few days. I think we will see some resistance up there. But I do think that it's likely we do see some continuation to the upside here for soybeans. Now let's talk a little bit about wheat. Wheat was able to bounce back. Just a very, very volatile, very choppy day here for the wheat, or not day, but very volatile last couple weeks here for wheat. And I really think that what we're seeing here is just a whole lot of uncertainty. I think that part of it is that corn was able to firm today. That was able to kind of help weed out maybe making some of those short positions a little bit nervous. But overall, you look at the wheat outlook here, and it looks as though we may get some precipitation over the next week throughout the Midwest, or throughout the plains areas, the very dry areas, but not enough to really make a significant impact on this drought. But of course, any amount of precipitation is always positive when you're in these sort of dry situations. I know when you look at Russia, Ukraine, Europe, it looks as though they're getting plenty of precipitation here. They got precipitation moving through Europe and into the northern part of Russia. And now over the next week, it should be seeing more precipitation in Ukraine and Russia. So those areas that we're concerned about, or traders were concerned about, the dryness concern is beginning to be alleviated. So when you look at the wheat outlook, some of those bullish factors here are starting to kind of evaporate there. And I am a little bit concerned for the wheat outlook, except for U.S. wheat in the Central Plains region. That area still continues to be dry, and we're going to have to pay very close attention to the weather here going forward. Now, we did get ethanol production out today. Ethanol production was down 1,000 barrels on the week. we recorded 952,000 barrels per day. So that's relatively positive. It is over last year. It is over what we typically see. Typically around this time of the year, we are trending higher in our overall production. It's good to see that we didn't see a decline here considering the overall energy sector. Now, when you look at stocks, we were down 770,000 barrels this week. Ethanol stocks right now sitting at 20.55 million barrels. So we did see a drawdown in stocks, and that can be positive here when you think of ethanol production. We do have export sales out tomorrow. That's going to be paid very close attention to us. We'll be writing about that in the morning commentary. Corn expectations here for 400 to 500,000 metric tons. Soybeans between 150 to 300,000 metric tons, and wheat between 100 to 300,000 metric tons. Other than that, that wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. Number is 877-472-4607. And if you haven't done so yet, take a demo of that 14-day free trial. See what it's like to have live quotes in the palm of your hand and when you're out and away from your desk. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Thursday.